Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about she was getting feelings for me and that is why she disappeared. So sometimes I get people asking me, I've even had a few clients that felt like they were in this position, that, a woman really likes you and that is why she disappeared. She was catching feelings for you and that's why she disappeared, because she was scared, because she's never been treated so nicely before. And that's why she backed away. From what I've seen, from what I've experienced, is that 99%, okay, maybe not 99, maybe like 95%, okay, 95% of the time, that's not true. She just lost interest, okay? Because sometimes it can feel like she is backing away because she's really into you, because the last time you saw her, things may have got a bit hot and steamy, or you were really connecting, you were really bonding, you were really getting close. But usually the reason why a woman may disappear or backing away and losing interest after that is because she feels like things are moving too fast, and that's why suddenly she needs space from you, right? That's why suddenly she's saying things like, oh, I don't think I want a relationship right now, I'm not sure if I should really be dating, starting to say all these really confusing things. And that kind of confuses a lot of people, because they think, well, but things were going really well in the last date, we were getting so close, right? But usually that is because things are happening too much too soon, right? That's usually the reason why women back out around that time, when things like that start happening, especially if it's still in the fragile stages of the dating process, right? If it's still within the first few dates, the first handful of dates. If you're getting too cozy too soon, acting like you're in a relationship too soon, getting too lovey-dovey too soon, that can scare some women off, because they feel like that, oh my god, this person's falling in love with me, I'm not quite there yet, this is making me feel a bit uncomfortable because I'm not there yet, I don't have those feelings yet, and it's just confusing me and it's kind of putting me off, because they really, in terms of romantic partnerships, okay, and this is what I've seen most of the time, okay, not all the time, but most of the time, you should really let the woman start bringing up conversations about romance, about being in love with you, you should let her confess first, because usually women do fall in love a lot slower than men, right? So if you're getting too lovey-dovey with her and she's not really there yet, it's going to put her off, right? This is why it's important for things to remain a little bit mysterious, right, to begin with, okay? So I'll give you an example, right, of when I started dating my wife. Right, we met at around about late September time, in 2017. Okay, it wasn't really until about a month and a half later of consistently dating each other once a week that we started to get into the conversation about being in a relationship. Right, a month and a half, right, roughly around that time. That's when things started to progress that way, right? So that means I think we probably had about 6 or 7 interactions, like dates and stuff and sleepovers, right? So, but in between that time, right, I kept things cool. Like, I didn't say, oh, I'm really in love with you, or I really like you, getting too lovey-dovey, right, doing too much too soon. I didn't do any of that stuff, because I know I'm one of these people that falls in love way too fast, right? I can see a beautiful woman and I think, yeah, I really want to be with her. I really want to get close to her. I really want to be with her. And I used to go from 0 to 100 all the time, saying, asking them to be my girlfriend, saying that I was in love with them within the first couple of dates and things like that. And it was really needy. And it all came basically from insecurity, because I was trying to lock her down because I was fearful of losing her, even though I didn't really even know them that well yet. I didn't know those women that well yet. I didn't know what it was like to hang out with them for a long time, right? But I just saw them, thought they were beautiful, didn't want to lose them, really wanted that relationship, desperate for that relationship. I tried to cling on, right? So I started saying things like, well, I really like you, because I wanted to hear what they say back. I wanted to get that validation for myself. And in a way, that's really selfish of me. to need that validation. Like, I really like you, please say it back. I really love you, please say it back. Right? When I could tell that they weren't there yet. And the reason why I was saying, oh, I really like you, I really love you, I want to be with you, was because I could tell that they weren't there yet. And I was fearful of losing them. And so I messed up, basically, on all those occasions. Right? And they would back away from me because they could see that I was falling in love, and that was happening way too soon for them. It takes a while for a woman, generally most of the time, to warm up to you. Okay? It takes her a while to connect with you on that level. Okay? Usually with men and people that fall in love fast, like me, you know, we can be in love straight away, you know, and have that feeling, have that cuddling connection, right? And instantly want that romance. But generally, most of the time, most women who are very feminine, they need time, right? They need a month or so to warm up to you, to feel comfortable around you, to start falling in love with you. Okay? So when I started dating my wife, so we matched on Tinder. I asked her out within the same evening. And we met up a week later, about 5 days later. And during those 5 days, contact was pretty much a zero. In fact, I think it was a complete zero. Like, neither of us messaged each other because we had arranged a date. I just after I arranged the date with her, I said, "Great, I'll see you then," right? And when I say arrange a date, I mean time and place and day. Okay, so if you got the day and you've got the time you're meeting on that day, and you know where you're meeting up, after you've got that in solid plans, all you need to say after that is, "Great, I can't wait to see you, I'll see you then," something like that, okay? And she showed up, so I knew, aha, she does like me, because if she wasn't interested in seeing me, then she wouldn't have showed up to that date, but she did, even though time had gone by, you see, okay? Now, after that first date, I didn't say anything to her again for another 5 days, right? I waited. I didn't say anything to her after the date, right? I didn't message her afterwards or anything like that. I waited 5 days, and then I asked her out again. She agreed, and we met up then about, again, like another 5 or 6 days after that, okay? Now, after the second date, that's when I think we started to spend the weekends together, right? And again, it was still like a week later with, again, minimal conversation in between, when we started to see each other on the weekend, having sleepovers, you know, that sort of thing. And then after a while, in November, when we started to, you know, it started to be, that relationship has started to be established. You know, we had told each other that we really like each other. You know, we'd said those things to each other. That was in the middle of November, and by that time, we weren't just spending the weekends together, we were spending also a day in the week as well. We were spending Wednesday nights together as well. Okay, but as you can see, it happened slowly over time. Now, if during those first few dates where I kept contact to a minimum, if my, the girl I was dating, my now wife, had spoken to me, had reached out to me in between those times, I would have said, "Hey, I'm doing really well, thanks. I'm doing great. How are you doing? And I can't wait to see you," and things like that. In fact, I remember, I don't know if it was for the second date or the third date, she messaged me to confirm. She's like, "Oh, are we still meeting up tomorrow?" Because she was unsure, right? And she wanted to know basically if things were still on and if I was still interested, right? She wanted to know is this still going to happen? You know, she wanted to know. She said, is it still happening? Are we still meeting up tomorrow? Because she really wanted to see me, okay? And so I said, yeah, and I can't wait. That's basically what I said. I said, I can't wait to see you. I'm looking forward to it, okay? So you keep things cool, okay? Keep things relaxed. Because if you don't, and you go all guns blazing basically, and you're always in her DMs and you're always messaging her and you're telling her things like, "Oh, I really like you," when she hasn't done so yet to you, you are probably going to scare her off. And this is why sometimes people think, "Oh yeah, the reason why she backed away from me was because she was super into me." No, right? You were super into her, right? She may have been reciprocating because you're in the same environment, and perhaps maybe she was enjoying the attention as well, and the cuddles and things like that, but there was probably something inside of her that felt a little off, okay? Now, an example of this as well, that I remember when this kind of thing flipped on me and I started to understand why it was important to back off, was I was on a date with a woman who I wasn't like totally into because she seemed really masculine. And when a woman's more masculine than me, they kind of turn my stomach, and it kind of feels like I'm dating a man. So I really need to be with feminine women, and I'm really happy that I have found a feminine woman to spend my life with, because that's what I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to femininity, or at least women who are more feminine than me, and I'm not attracted to women who are more masculine than me. So I was on a date with a woman who was more masculine than me, and I wasn't really into it. And I did, spend some time with her. And I remember once, I think this was around the same time we'd met. It was like the first date or something like that. But, she reached over and she held my hand as we were driving, and she was driving, and she held my hand, and I felt, oh, she's acting like we're in a relationship. And she kind of gave me this smile, like, it's like, I can see that you're probably already in love with me. This is making me uncomfortable, She should have really waited for me to try and hold her hand or something like that. But, it's just one of those things. But I remember feeling, this is someone who I can tell is going from 0 to 100. She's treating me like we're in a relationship right away, right? And I could feel it. It made me cringe inside. So even if it feels like things are going really well and you're having a really romantic moment, sometimes the other person, without you even knowing, is cringing, okay? Which is why you need to keep it cool at the beginning, right? Like how I did with my wife, right? Now, I wasn't mean to my wife. I wasn't cold to her. If she had reached out to me and initiated a conversation with me, and each time she did do that, I was always happy to hear from her, always happy to talk to her. But I cut the conversation short and said, I can't wait to meet up with you next. And if we hadn't arranged anything yet, I would say, when are you next free to hang out, right? And I would just use messaging that way. And then once we got something arranged, I would cut the conversation short by saying something like this: great, I'll see you then. I can't wait to see you. Okay, that's all you need to do. But you can't go from 0 to 100, because that's what's going to make women confused and then suddenly do a disappearing act on you. Okay, now sometimes one of the reasons why a woman may disappear when it seems like they were really into you is because someone else that they were more into has suddenly come back, like an ex, or someone else that they were previously dating who they have more affection towards because perhaps they've spent more time with them. Okay, this is why some people get angry that, oh, I don't understand why she went back to her ex when she was dating me. Because she had more time with the ex. She has more feelings invested in the ex. She spent more time with the ex. If she's only been on a couple of dates with you, of course, if she isn't over her ex, she's going to have more emotional investment in her ex because she's just spent more time with them. She's invested more feelings into them. Okay? It's like, let's say you've got a really big crush on someone right now, which you may do or you may not. Or maybe an ex you're still thinking about. Or maybe it's this person that you've dated who has disappeared. Right, if you start dating someone new right now, let's say you started a conversation with someone, a new woman, and let's say you're going out on Saturday and you go out on that date, and then suddenly this old person, your old crush comes back, right? You're probably going to go jump right back to the crush because you've got more feelings invested in them and you're more excited about them because you spent more time with them, or you spent more time thinking and wondering about them, right? If you've got more emotional investment in romantic wise in someone else, if you start dating someone new and that person comes back, you're going to want to go back with them, right? Especially if they start displaying more romantic interest in you again. And sometimes that can happen with women, and you start dating them and then suddenly they disappear. Perhaps that ex came back into the picture, or perhaps a crush came back, right? So these are all things to consider. But no, I don't think women run away from people that they have feelings for, or men that they have feelings for, right? If a woman is really into you, then she will want to be around you all the time, right? Now, the only way that I could probably say that, okay, a woman has disappeared because they're in love with you, or because they really, really like you, because they caught feelings for you, is if they've got some sort of mental health condition, right? And they're unstable, right? And if they have run away because of their feelings, it's because they're not healthy in some way. Because a healthy woman will not run away from you if they have feelings for you, right? So if a woman has run away from you, has disappeared, and it's because she's got feelings for you, then she's not the woman for you because she's hiding from her feelings, right? And there's nothing you can do or say to convince her to come back anyway. And even if she did, those issues would still be there, and perhaps they would manifest in a different way, which could be potentially toxic for you and for that relationship. So it's better to let women who run away and not come back. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you would like to get in contact with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.